people wanted my dad to become like the mayor of Philadelphia because he was just so extroverted. And so like whenever I meet anyone that knew my dad, they tell me like, wow, you remind me so much of Jack, which I love hearing, just because it's nice that I know like I have the same traits as him, even though we only spent a few years together, that I was able to, pick up these traits from him and like be like my dad. Cause my mom and brother are both like pretty introverted. So I'm like the one extrovert in the family. So it's nice knowing where I got that from.
When did you first get involved with raising awareness of ALD?
Yeah. So before my dad passed away, he and my mom started a nonprofit organization called Run for ALD. Even though my dad knew that any cure would be too late for him, he and my mom wanted to start this organization to raise awareness of the disease and money for research. And so it was nice because when he still could communicate at the beginning of his diagnosis and he wasn't able to work anymore, it was something that he was able to devote his time to and keep busy, like calling people, asking for donations, asking for sponsorships and stuff like that. So after my dad passed away, my mom and our family and friends kept the organization going. So when I was in fourth grade, I started wanting to get involved. So in fourth grade, I went around to every class in the fourth grade in my elementary school, and I told them that there was a run coming up, and I told them about my story. And I remember that was really the first time I ever was an activist or an advocate, because I did always tell my story here and there, but I feel like in elementary school a lot of times I held back from it because I wasn't never trying to get sympathy. I wasn't trying to isolate myself from people. So I was always kind of scared and nervous to share my story, especially with my peers. Because everyone in my elementary school kind of knew anyway, because I was one of the only people that didn't have both parents. So everyone kind of knew, but it wasn't really until fourth grade where I actually started to talk about it. And so a bunch of my friends came to our yearly 5K run. So that was really awesome. And I don't sing anymore, but back then I would sing a song dedicated to my dad every year, which I stopped a while ago because I'm not a singer anymore. But that was my first taste of advocacy. And then in middle school, I wanted to continue it. I started volunteering for various hospices in the area. I wrote an article about my family's story that was published in South Jersey Magazine. I would speak at different events. And then I feel like the peak of my advocacy when it started to get more, not serious, but when I started to get involved in legislation and started getting involved, with my local government, that's when it really started to take off.